Good morning, students. In a previous class, that is a class 2 of the chapter Chemical Equilibrium, I already completed the important first long question, that is law of mass action, law of chemical equilibrium, and the relationship between two equilibrium constants, that is Kp and Kc. Today, that is the last class, class 3 for the chapter Chemical Equilibrium. I will try to complete the second long question of this chapter, that is Lee-Chatelier principle. Very important one. Lee-Chatelier principle, along with another fundamental terms are there, that is types of chemical equilibrium, how to write the equilibrium constant, expression of equilibrium constant, and some application of equilibrium constant. So, before going to starting the long question, I will try to complete the fundamental terms, that is types of equilibria. Mark that. First we discuss types of chemical equilibria. Students, remember it is the phase 1. Try to understand the concept. Next phase 2, go through the writing. So there are two types of chemical equilibrium. That is, one is known as homogeneous equilibrium and one is known as heterogeneous equilibrium. Mark that. One is known as homogeneous equilibrium and second one is known as heterogeneous equilibrium. Homo means same, hetero means different. That means in a chemical reaction, if all the reactant and product are in one phase, then it is known as homogeneous equilibrium. On the other hand, if the reactant and products consist of more than one phases, then it is known as heterogeneous equilibrium. Mark that. For example, PCl5 gas give rise to PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. Mark that. Here all the reactant and product, all the component are in one phases, that is gaseous form. Mark that. Another one, CH3COOH liquid plus C2H5OH liquid reversible, that is CH3COOC2H5 liquid plus H2O liquid. That is acetic acid when combined with ethyl alcohol, it is an organic reaction, we study later. To form ethyl acetate ester plus water. These are, in this case also, all the components are in one phase, that is liquid. On the other hand, if a chemical reaction in which the components are more than one phases, mark that, calcium carbonate solid give rise to calcium oxide solid plus carbon dioxide gas. Mark that. Here solid and gas, more than one component is there. So it is comes under heterogeneous equilibrium. If we go through the another example, then another equation is there. Iron Fe combined with water. Another one is Fe solid plus water, that is gas, give rise to Fe2O3. Fe plus H2O give rise to Fe3O4 plus Fe3O4 plus H2 it is a solid, it is a gas. Mark that. Here also consists of more than one component. So these are known as heterogeneous equilibrium. So equilibrium are of two types. One is known as homogeneous and one is known as heterogeneous. Next, how to write the equilibrium constant, the way of expression writing the equilibrium constant. Next segment is we discuss the way writing expression for equilibrium constant. Next we discuss writing an expression for equilibrium constant. So before writing this one, it is an important thing we have to remember that while writing the expression for equilibrium constant, if any term in reactant or product, any term, they are in form of solid or liquid form, then its molar concentration taken as 1. For example, we write the equilibrium expression, equilibrium constant for two cases. One is for homogeneous and one is for heterogeneous. Mark that. Suppose one equation N2 gas plus 3H2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. Then equilibrium constant Kc is equal to NH3 concentration to the power 2 N2 into H2 to the power 3. And here Kp is equal to P NH3 to P partial pressure N2 partial pressure H2 to the power 3. Mark that. Similarly, if we go through one heterogeneous, mark that, calcium carbonate solid give rise to calcium oxide solid plus carbon dioxide gas. So equilibrium constant is equal to calcium oxide molar concentration into carbon dioxide molar concentration divided by calcium carbonate molar concentration. Mark that since it is a solid, it is a solid. So just before we discuss, if any one component is solid or liquid form, then its molar concentration taken as unity. So we can write Kc is equal to CO2. Since only one component is there and that is gaseous form, better way to express that is Kp is equal to P of CO2. It is the way of writing an expression for equilibrium constant. Then switch over to calculating the unit of equilibrium constant. Next one, calculating the unit of equilibrium constant. Mark that. Calculating the unit of equilibrium constant. So how we calculate the unit of equilibrium constant? Mark that one particular equation. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. In this case, the equilibrium constant is equal to NH3 molar concentration to the power 2 N2 into H2 to the power molar concentration power 3. And it is moles per liter is there. Moles per liter to the power 2 divided by moles per liter into moles per liter to the power 3. So here we can calculate. If we go through the unit, then it is unit is moles per liter to the power 2 divided by moles per liter to the power 4 is equal to moles per liter to the power 2 minus 4 is equal to moles per liter to the power minus 2. So from this derivation it is clear that, from this calculation it is clear that the unit of equilibrium constant is always, unit of equilibrium constant is moles per liter to the power del Ng. If the concentration expressed in moles per liter, then the unit of equilibrium constant is moles per liter to the power del Ng. What do you know del Ng? That is total number of gaseous moles of the product species minus the total number of gaseous moles of reactant species. Next, if another way is there, if the reactant product all are in gaseous form and the concentration expressed in terms of partial pressure, then unit of Kc is equal to atmospheric pressure to the power del Ng. That is, del Ng means total number of gaseous moles of the product species minus total number of gaseous moles of the reactant species. It is the way to calculate the unit of equilibrium constant. Okay, good. Next, switch over to application of equilibrium constant. Next point is the application of equilibrium constant. Mark that. Next point, application of equilibrium constant. So generally there are two important application of equilibrium constant. Point 1, the predict the progress of the reaction. First application of equilibrium constant is to predict the extent of the reaction. First application is predict the extent of reaction. The first application of equilibrium constant is predict the extent of the reaction, and second application predicting the direct of reaction. Second application predict the direction of reaction. Let us discuss one by one. First one is predict the extent of reaction. That means point 1, mark that, we discuss point 1. That is, if equilibrium constant value is too high, if the equilibrium constant value is too high, then it indicates that the reaction is, forward reaction is favorable. It indicates that forward reaction is favorable. Similarly, if equilibrium constant value is low, too low, it indicates that backward reaction is favorable. Backward reaction is favorable. The two application, two important point for the application of calculating or predicting the extent of the reaction. Okay, move to the second application. That means predicting the direction of the reaction, whether the reaction proceed in forward direction or whether the reaction proceed, equilibrium reaction proceeds in forward direction or backward direction. So before going to that one, it is necessary to know another one term that is known as concentration quotient. Concentration quotient. It is known as concentration quotient or otherwise also known as reaction quotient. Better to write concentration quotient, symbol is QC. So mark that, it is a reaction, reversible reaction, it is known as rate of forward reaction, it is known as rate of backward reaction. It is a point where RF is equal to RB, so we say that here equilibrium is achieved, equilibrium is achieved. So at this point RF is equal to RB. There is a particular point where RF is equal to RB, means rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Okay, but question is that before that point, suppose here or here or here or any other point, if we calculate the molar concentration of product species divided by molar concentration of reactant species, what about to this value? Mark that at the state of equilibrium, if we calculate the product of molar concentration of product species, each raised to the power is equal to its coefficient divided by product of molar concentration of reactant species, each raised to the power is equal to its coefficient, is a constant known as equilibrium constant. On the other hand, if before attaining equilibrium, any other point, if we find out that value, then it is known as another term known as concentration quotient, QC. What is concentration quotient? It is defined as the product of molar concentration of product species, each raised to the power is equal to its coefficient divided by product of molar concentration of reactant species, each term raised to the power is equal to its coefficient. Before attaining equilibrium is a constant known as concentration quotient. Okay, good. Next, let us observe that how this concentration quotient, help in predicting the direction of the reaction, whether the reaction proceed in forward direction or whether the reaction proceed in backward direction or whether the reaction or the system is in the state of equilibrium. So mark that one diagram is there here. Mark that diagram. It is known as Kc, it is known as Qc. In this case, Kc is equal to Qc. That means we say that the reaction is in the state of equilibrium. Okay. On the other hand, here mark that it is known as Kc, it is known as Qc. Here it is mark that it is known as QC, it is known as Kc. From this diagram it is clear that here QC less than Kc, here QC greater than Kc. So from this diagram you observe that if QC less than Kc, it indicates that the reaction proceed in forward direction. Okay. On the other hand, if QC greater than Kc, it indicates that the reaction proceed in backward direction. In this way, it helps for calculating the direction of the reaction. Okay. Next, switch over to the important long question, that is Le Chatelier principle. Students, not worry about writing. In segment 1, we try to complete all the thing, then segment 2 start writing. Very, very important long question, that is Le Chatelier principle. What is this principle? This principle states that if there is a strain, 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 what do you mean by strain? That is a change in temperature, pressure or concentration. I repeat again. This principle states that if there is a strain in a reversible reaction at the state of equilibrium, then the equilibrium will shift, try to adjust in such a way that we try to cancel, try to undo or nullify the above effect of change. I repeat again, this principle said that if there is a strain in a reversible gaseous reaction at the state of equilibrium, then the equilibrium try to adjust in such a way to cancel the above change. Okay? So let us apply this concept to discuss elaborately how this effect affect the pressure, temperature and concentration. Let us discuss one by one. One is effect of change of concentration. So before that, let us mark that one equation. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. So here Kc is equal to molar concentration NH3 power 2 by N2 into H2 power 3. Mark that. If we increase the molar concentration of any one term or both of the reactant, then the equilibrium shift forward, forming more amount of the product. Similarly, if we increase any one of the concentration of product species, then the equilibrium shift backward, forming more amount of reactant. As a result of which, the equilibrium constant remains same. Mark that, I repeat again. If we increase any one of the concentration of reactant, then the extra concentration that is added brings the reaction move to forward, forming more amount of the product, as well as mark that if we increase this concentration, as a result this value also increases. Increase by increase remain constant. Similarly, if we increase the concentration of product species, as a result the equilibrium shift backward, forming more amount of reactant. So increase by increase, again the equilibrium remain constant. Hence, from this we draw one conclusion that if we increase any one of the concentration of reactant species, then the equilibrium shift in the forward direction. Similarly, if we increase any one of the concentration of product species, then the equilibrium shift in backward direction. Okay. Next, Sujaba 2, that is effect of change of temperature. Effect of change of temperature. Temperature also play an important role in changing the state of equilibrium. Mark that. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. Here del H is equal to negative. Mark that. Given that is an exothermic reaction, means automatically heat will be evolved. So two condition is there. Again, if we supply the heat, then it does not favor the formation of product. That means equilibrium shift backward, forming more amount of product, or we can say forming less amount of the product. That means it is not a favorable one. I repeat again, it is an exothermic reaction. During this reaction, automatically heat energy evolved. Again, if we heat supply to the system, then not favor the formation of product. That means in two different ways we can draw a conclusion. That is, we say equilibrium shift backward forming more amount of reactant, or we can say equilibrium shift, or we can say it is form less amount of product and it is not a favorable one. Similarly, if we decrease the temperature, as it is the exothermic reaction, it is decrease the temperature, then it is a favor. As a result, equilibrium shift forward, forming more amount of product. It is known as a favorable condition. Okay. So from this, it is clear that increase in temperature shifts the equilibrium in that direction which is exothermic, which is endothermic in nature. Point 2, decrease the temperature, then shift the equilibrium in that direction which is exothermic nature. If the temperature increases, equilibrium shift to that direction which is endothermic. If we decrease the temperature, equilibrium shift to that direction which is exothermic nature. Okay, good. Next, last one, effect of change of concentration. Next one is effect of change of concentration part over, temperature part over. Next, pressure. Effect of change of pressure. Mark that if one reaction, reversible reaction involving gaseous one, then pressure change also play an important role. Mark that one equation. Here total is 4 volume, here total product side is 2 volume. We know pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. So here if we increase the pressure, then the equilibrium will shift in such a way to move where volume is low. That means in this case, if we increase the pressure, then equilibrium shift forward because volume is low. Which one is a favorable one? On the other hand, here if we decrease the pressure, then equilibrium shift to that direction where volume is more. If we decrease the pressure, then equilibrium shift to backward direction as volume is more, forming more amount of reactant or less amount of product, which is not a favorable one. Okay. So from this we draw one conclusion that if we increase the pressure, equilibrium shift in such a way that towards the less number of volume, less amount of volume. Similarly, if we decrease the pressure, equilibrium shifts towards the more amount of volume. Effect of change of temperature, effect of change of pressure, effect of change of concentration. Last one, effect of addition of noble gas. Effect of addition of noble gas, inert gases, at two conditions, at constant volume, at constant pressure. Let us discuss one by one. If inert gas added at constant volume, then it does not affect the state of equilibrium. On the other hand, if inert gas added, noble gas added at constant pressure, then equilibrium will shift to that direction where a large number of molecules is there, volume is a larger one. And last is effect of catalyst. Catalyst, we know a species which alter the rate of reaction. If it increases, then known as positive catalyst. If it decreases, known as a negative catalyst. So, catalyst only change the rate of reaction but not affect to the equilibrium point. It is all about the long question in Lichardt principle. Next, segment 2, start writing one by one. Now, note down the definition of type of chemical equilibrium. Two type is there, one is homogeneous, one is heterogeneous. Mark that. When in an equilibrium reaction, all the reactant and products are present in the same phases, that is either in liquid or in gaseous form, then it is known as homogeneous equilibrium. Some examples, N2 plus 3H2 give rise to 2NH3, PCl5 break down to PCl3 and Cl2, all are in gaseous form. Acetic acid plus ethyl alcohol give rise to ethyl acetate ester plus water, all are in liquid form. Next is heterogeneous equilibria. When in an equilibrium reaction, all the reactant and product present are in different phases, means two or more than two phases, then it is known as heterogeneous equilibrium. For example, calcium carbonate break down to calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. It is considered two phase, one is solid and gas. Iron plus water vapor give rise to magnetic oxide plus hydrogen. It is also two phase, solid and gas. Carbon plus water give rise to carbon monoxide and hydrogen, that is combined known as water gas. It is also more than one phases. Some examples of heterogeneous equilibria. Next, we will write the expression for equilibrium constant. Mark that, writing expression for equilibrium constant. In writing expression for the equilibrium constant, the most important convention to be kept in mind that the active mass of pure solid is taken as a constant irrespective of its amount. And if a pure liquid is present, that means act as a solvent, then also active mass also taken as a constant. In both the cases, we put their active mass is equal to 1. Let us consider two examples, one for homogeneous, one for heterogeneous. Mark that. Here two examples all are in gaseous form. N2 plus 3H2 give rise to 2NH3. If it is expressed in terms of Kc, then it is the case. If it is in partial pressure Kp, it is the case. Similarly, H2 plus I2 2Hi, then 2A is there. If it is moles per liter concentration expression, then this is. If in partial pressure, atmospheric pressure, then it is the way of writing the equilibrium constant. Next one for heterogeneous. One important thing that I repeat again, if anyone reactant product in a solid or in liquid, pure liquid, that means solvent, then taken as 1. Mark that. 3 iron plus 4H2O give rise to magnetic oxide Fe3O4 plus 4H2. So while writing the expression, it is a solid taken as 1, it is solid taken as 1. So if we write in form of Kc, it is the value. If we write in terms of Kp, then it is the value. Okay. Next we go through writing the equilibrium constant. How will we represent the equilibrium constant? Let us consider hypothetical reversible reaction AA plus BB give rise to CC and DD. Here small letter are the coefficient and capital letter are the reactant and product. Then Kc is represented in this way, and as it is the square bracket indicate the concentration, molar concentration. So we say that is molar concentration to the power C plus D by molar concentration to the power moles per liter to the power A plus B. In general, finally, that is moles per liter to the power C plus D by minus A plus B. That means moles per liter to the power del Ng. What is del Ng? The total number of gaseous moles of the product species minus total number of gaseous moles of the reactant species. On the other hand, it is the Kc. If we write Kp, then instead of moles per liter, we write atmospheric pressure ATM to the power del Ng. Kp is equal to, note down, Kp is equal to ATM to the power del Ng. Next, we will write the application of equilibrium constant. Two applications are there. One is calculating the extent of the reaction. One is calculating the direction of the reaction. Mark that. First, calculating the extent of reaction. 4 points are there. One, if large value of equilibrium constant, that is greater than 10 to the power 3, it indicates that forward reaction is favorable. If intermediate value 10 to the power minus 3 to 10 to the power 3 indicate that the concentration of the reactant product are comparable. Next, low value of equilibrium constant less than 10 to the power minus 3 shows that the backward reaction is favorable. And last, if extremely large value of equilibrium constant indicates that reaction proceed almost towards completion. Next one, second application, predicting the direction of the reaction. Let us consider hypothetical reaction AA plus BB give rise to CC plus DD at any instant of the reaction other than the state of chemical equilibrium. If concentration ratio is given by the expression of law of chemical equilibrium. That means the product, mark that, the product of molar concentration of product species is raised to the power is equal to its coefficient divided by product of molar concentration or reactant species each raised to the power is equal to its coefficient is another constant which is known as concentration quotient or reaction quotient. Symbol is Q or QC. So from this 3 point is we deduce 3 point. One is QC is equal to KC, concentration quotient equivalent to equilibrium constant. If QC greater than KC, QC less than KC. Mark the diagram. If QC is less than KC, indicate that forward reaction, the reaction shift forward, forming more amount of product. On the other hand, if QC greater than KC, indicate that reaction will shift backward direction, forming more amount of reactant. And last, if QC is equal to KC, indicate that the reaction or the system is in the state of equilibrium. Next, write down the important long question, that is Le Chatelier principle. Mark that. This principle states that if there is a strain, what do you mean by strain? That is change in temperature, pressure or concentration in a reversible reaction at the state of equilibrium, then the equilibrium will shift changes in such a way, in such a direction so as to cancel the above strain or above changes. That means this principle helps in calculating qualitatively the effect of change of temperature, pressure and concentration of the system at the stage of equilibrium. So let us discuss how the equilibrium adjusts by changing temperature, pressure, concentration one by one. First is effect of change of temperature. So two type of reaction is there. One reaction in which heat is evolved, that is exothermic reaction, and one reaction heat is absorbed, that is endothermic reaction. Important thing, remember that if a reaction is exothermic in forward direction, then it is endothermic in backward direction. And if a reaction similarly forward reaction is endothermic, then backward reaction is exothermic. Mark that. According to this principle, if the temperature of the system at equilibrium is increased, then the equilibrium will shift in a direction in which heat is absorbed. If temperature increase, equilibrium shift to that direction, heat is absorbed, means endothermic nature. Similarly, if temperature of the system at equilibrium is decreased, then the equilibrium shift in a direction in which heat is evolved, that is exothermic reaction or exothermic in nature. Let us consider the formation of ammonia. N2 plus 3H2 give rise to 2NH3. Del H negative means forward reaction is exothermic, backward reaction is endothermic. Since the reaction is exothermic in forward direction, therefore decrease in temperature favor the formation of more amount of ammonia. Hence we conclude that equilibrium shift towards forward. Similarly, let us consider the formation of nitric oxide, that is N2 plus O2 give rise to 2NO. Del H is positive, means forward reaction is endothermic. Since forward reaction is endothermic, therefore decrease in temperature shifts the equilibrium forward, forming more amount of a product. Hence, from this we draw a conclusion that, what is the conclusion? Increase in temperature shifts the equilibrium in the direction of endothermic reaction, and decrease in temperature shifts the equilibrium in the exothermic reaction. Okay. Next is effect of effect of change of pressure. If the reactant product in a reversible reaction is a gaseous one, then a pressure play an important role for shifting the equilibrium. Three cases is there. Case 1, when total number of gaseous moles on the product species is greater than that of the reactant species. Case 2, total number of gaseous moles on the reactant species less than that of the reactant species. And third one is number of gaseous moles on the reactant and product species same. Discuss one by one. Point 1, mark that if the reaction in equilibrium consists of gases, then the state of equilibrium play an important role, is decided by change in pressure. Case 1, when del Ng greater than 0. That means total number of gaseous moles on the product species is greater than that of the reactant species. For example, PCl5 gas give rise to PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas. Here, when the number of gaseous moles on the reactant species is less than the product species in an equilibrium reaction, then increase in pressure favor. If pressure increases, then volume decreases. Here volume is 1 mole, here volume is 2 mole. So if pressure increases, equilibrium shift backward because low volume, but it is not favorable. Favorable means always reaction moves forward, more amount of product, it is favorable. If by any means equilibrium shift backward, forming less amount of product or more amount of reactant, then it is taken as not favorable. So, if we increase the pressure favor in the backward direction or decrease the pressure favor in the forward direction, always keep in mind that favorable condition means equilibrium shift forward, as a result forming more amount of product. Next is case 2, when del Ng less than 0 means product of total number of gaseous moles of the product species is less than that of the reactant species. For example, N2 gas plus 3H2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. Here, when number of gaseous moles on the reactant side is more than that of the product side, then increase in pressure. If pressure increases, then equilibrium shift to that side where volume decreases. Here volume is 4 moles, here 2 moles. So move forward. Forward means formation of product, it is favorable. So if del Ng less than 0, that means the total number of gaseous moles on the reactant side is more than that of the product side, then increase in pressure favor the forward reaction forming more amount of ammonia. Case 3, when del Ng is equal to 0, that means total number of gaseous moles on the reactant side is equal to product side. For example, H2 gas plus I2 gas give rise to 2HI gas. When the number of gaseous moles on the reactant and product side are equal, then the change in pressure, then here in this case pressure has no role. That means increasing or decreasing pressure does not affect the state of equilibrium. Hence, from above this we draw one conclusion that, what is the conclusion? Increase in pressure shifts the equilibrium in the direction of less number of gaseous moles, and decrease in pressure shifts the equilibrium in the direction of more number of gaseous moles. Next, third one, effect of change of concentration. According to this principle, if small quantity of reactant is added at equilibrium, then equilibrium shift towards forward, forming more amount of product. Let us consider the formation of ammonia, which is represented as N2 plus 3H2 give rise to 2NH3, and equilibrium constant expression Kc is equal to concentration NH3 power 2 divided by N2 into concentration H2 power 3. So, mark that here, if the molar concentration of nitrogen increase, what happens? Then the part of nitrogen added will react with hydrogen, forming more amount of ammonia. If nitrogen is added, increase, then it combine with ammonia to nitrogen, hydrogen combine to form more amount of ammonia. So more cancel out, keeping Kc as constant. Similarly, increase in concentration of hydrogen at equilibrium, then more amount of ammonia will be formed. So high cancel, keeping Kc as constant. On the other hand, if we increase the concentration of ammonia, that is the product side at equilibrium, then equilibrium shift towards left, forming more amount of nitrogen and hydrogen, keeping Kc as constant. That means, if we increase the concentration of reactant side, more amount of product form. If we increase the concentration of product side, equilibrium shift backward, forming more amount of reactant. Hence, from above we draw one conclusion: increase in concentration of any one of the reactant shift the equilibrium in the forward direction, and also increase the concentration of any one of the product shifts the equilibrium in the backward direction.